Boom. All right, let me get y'all the link. All right, we got the green light. That means everything is a go. Um, hold on. Let me get the full screen. Boom. All right, getting a live link right now.
Oh, that made me too.
Cool. Here we go. We got the link. I'm sending
Like,
it to the chat,
we.
and then I'm gonna send it to y'all in the DMs.
Are you sending it in
In the DMs, right?
the
Yeah.
DMs?
Yep. All right, it's sent.
All right.
Everybody should have
All
it.
right.
All right.
Um, um,
Let me copy it. See if I can fill into it. I gotta copy it.
Cool. Just posted it from the page.
yeah,
I bet.
I'm about to get it right now, son.
Hold on. Oh, you just posted it?
Yeah, I just posted it
Mm-hmm.
from the page. I just
All
tweeted
right.
it too.
All right. All right. I'm gonna just retweet this. Let me see something.
That make the most sense.
Tweet somebody.
Yo, yo, what's going on, everybody in the chat? What's shaking? What's shaking? What's shaking?
What's
What's
going
up,
on?
my brother? Peace, peace, peace.
Mel, Deb, Chuck, Gina, Earl, Darla, what's going on? Wait,
Yeah.
wait a few more minutes for a couple more people to come in at this point, and then we'll get it rocking.
I'm good to go.
You know it. In the meantime, what's going on, fellas? How y'all been maintaining in the quarantine, bro? Let's see. Since there's a lot of us, we'll go one by one. We start with Anthony. How you been? How you been managing, bro?
I've been managing great. Just taking my experiences from combat and applying it. Like what I'll do is I'll get up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see what I need to do for the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go outside. For just walk around the neighborhood, make sure new bullshit going on.
Right, right.
Come back to the house, work out for an hour or two,
Mm-hmm.
work on my photos, go back outside because need that fresh air, and then I'll spend time with the family and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm living with them, so to make sure everybody stay afloat, we combining our resources
That makes
to
the most sense.
That's
get
real though.
That makes the most sense. Yo, tell them what you do, bro. This is a legendary like photographer we got here with
That's
us,
a
man,
fact.
and also a
Facts.
powerful black man. Introduce yourself, bro.
well, because I don't talk about myself a whole lot, but no, I'm a photographer. I shoot anything black, so like sports,
Mhm.
music, all that shit. And before that, I was a Marine. I was a machine gunner.
Mhm.
Been to combat twice,
Mhm.
so a lot of what we're gonna talk about tonight, I'm gonna be pulling from that,
Okay.
from experiences from that,
Mhm.
and living in Bed Stuy.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
That's a
Mhm.
fact.
so
Facts. The
we're gonna
HUD.
dig into it.
For sure, for sure. Now that's Anthony. We got somebody else with us. My man Marty. Me and Marty go back since like what they used to call us. What bitty basketball, bitty football, bro. At the Sky
Yeah, that's a
Hawks,
fact.
man. We was
That's
young
a
boys
fact.
running around in these streets, man, acting a fool, man. My
That's a
man
fact. That's
Ahmad,
a fact.
super talented dude. Ain't scared to say what's on his mind, man. Again, another powerful black man. My guy Marty. Introduce yourself the correct way now.
What's up? What's up, my brothers? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For those who don't know, my name is Ahmad. Uh, did R&B for a good amount of years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'd say from like about '06 to like 2014, 15. Actually, the last song I did actually was with Smith.
Yeah.
And
Hey.
and a little quick funny story about that is when we did the session,
Yeah.
we had no idea that we actually
Knew each other.
like used to play on the same football team back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But it was crazy because I never forgot his first name. And then like I asked him one time, I said, yo, is your first name such and such? He's like, yeah. I said, yo, boy, you used to play this because he told me he played for Scouts. I'm like, yo, so we was on the same team. Then we had the flick, found the flick, and we was in the same picture and everything like
Legendary.
that, whatever. Like he's like literally like 2 rows
Yeah, 2 rows
above me.
behind him.
Literally.
Right.
Same
Looking,
lane, everything.
Word.
looking like the baddest kid ever.
That ass. Dirty
Yo.
Best-Eye niggas, man. You know
You
it.
already know. Gang, dirty best side niggas.
Yeah, man. But I'm from Fort Greene, Brooklyn. I was born and raised. I spent my whole life there and everything like that. What I've been doing now, man, I've been working with Anthony on this project called Represent. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring a new light to like Black people that's not really talked about. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not to go too much into it, but there's a whole narrative about people in the hood and stuff like that, and how there's always like this negative connotation towards us, but there's greatness that comes from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen great Black men, women, and children. You know what I'm saying? That lives there, is from there. You know what I'm saying? So we're working on that and working on a couple of other things, and I'm just happy to be on this platform because I think there's a lot of things that we need to address, and this is a platform where this is strong Black men, and we're definitely out here. And there's definitely no sucker shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So. I definitely appreciate you brothers for inviting me on this platform, man.
Oh, no problem, brother. Anytime, man. We are open live stream forum now. We just want niggas to talk about real shit, like especially community building, because that's mad important.
Yeah, word up. So like we wanted to do this because it's just been a lot going on. Ahmaud Arbery, if you haven't seen a hashtag, Black men have become another hashtag. Hunted and shot down by 2 Caucasian males, and just recently they were arrested. But I say it's too early to celebrate. Um, I mean, I didn't watch the video. I didn't need to see the video. I think I've seen those types of videos too many times. So if anybody wants to expand on it, tell a little bit more of the story, by all means, the floor is yours.
I can. I've been kind of avoiding the video and like RIP Ahmaud. Like that shit is like mad crazy. It just seems like somebody was jogging and the person who was recording was following them, because it seems like the person was literally following them. It didn't seem like one of those things where it was just like, oh shit, something's happening and I'm gonna record. It seems like they were following him, and then it looks like he got blindsided by somebody in a car. Right. He tries to fight. I think he gets shot a first time. Yep. Then they turn the camera away to a guy who's standing on the back of a pickup truck, and he's like loading his rifle. And he aims, fires, and then you go back. They show him again, and you see the blood on him. You see him still fighting, and he tries to run away, and he like just falls over. And it's like one of like literally the worst videos like I've ever seen. Like it's crazy how like we're kind of desensitized to like watching like Black people like get killed video, but like it was even harder to watch this because it was like you only see shit like this in movies, kind of. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like shit like this where it seems like somebody's on pursuit of somebody for no reason and they just fucking murdered them. And like that's like entertainment to us, but like seeing it like in just the real time, understanding why it's happening, understanding probably what's gonna happen at the end of this was probably like the earth-shattering like moment. And like it was really hard for me to like watch. I watched it literally like 2 hours before I decided to like talk to people, like because I was like very upset. Like I had to really collect myself before I could even talk right now about this. But if you guys want to keep expanding on it, like
this video was similar to what Taliban used to send Al Jazeera, like them snuff videos of like how U.S. troops get blown up overseas. This to me as someone who's been in combat. That's what this felt like. I'm watching Al Jazeera all over again. This time it's turned on us. And my question, I mean, we probably gonna get into it, and I'm like, why all of a sudden this video turns up now? In the midst, while here in New York, you got the pigs from the New York City Pigs Department. They sitting here wilding out in Brownsville and even near me, because I got Broward Park near me, and they just putting foot to ass over on black kids, and I'm like, yo, why not? Why are we putting in if this? Because they said, I think Sean King is one of them other frauds said that this happened in February, so I'm like, why now? Why are we putting this out now?
I mean, it's an interesting thing with that because when I first actually saw like some about it on the TL was about a month and a half ago. You know what I mean?
Okay.
The thing is with that is it didn't get picked up by like national news. I think maybe like, until like the video dropped, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting because like when news like that comes out, people don't really pay attention to it unless like MSNBC or Fox or CNN is the one that's reporting it, as so much for credibility. You know what I'm saying? But I first when I didn't watch the video, and the reason why I didn't want to watch the video is it's a personal thing, person's name, the brother's name is Ahmaud, you know what I mean? So it's a little creepy for me, to be honest. You know what I'm saying?
Very good. I understand that completely.
You know what I mean? And I didn't want to watch it because like what's on it that I haven't seen before and I don't know about.
Exactly.
And not only that, I mean, the response is exactly what I expected the response to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's really crazy because I peep certain things and like especially with us because I mean, just as quick as we are to spin the block on the ops, you know what I mean? Like, is it really, do we really have that energy? You know what I mean? For them, you know what I'm saying? When one of ours gets touched, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's something that really like it's something that bothered me because everybody's reaction just seemed, a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people, as far as like on the mainstream level, as far as the celebrity level, things like that, it looked so phony to me. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that really like it's sick. It's sick as a human. You know what I'm saying? Like people are really doing things like that, for profit. You know what I mean? Like, when does it end? You feel me?
Right. What about you, man?
I mean, I completely agree with everything that was just said. I think I didn't watch the video. I did watch the video, the live that came out after with showing Reed, but that's a whole nother thing. I've seen it all, and I think that outside of seeing it all online, I've seen it all in person. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing people don't understand. For those of us who have actually been in the shit, been in the jungle, dealt with the shit, right? Like, I look at people like Sean King, and the shit gets me so hot, because I think that there's two ways that people really build platforms in 2020, and that's either on showing your abs and showing your titties or showing black people getting killed.
Sensationalizing shit. Sensationalizing anything but right now.
Anything. Facts.
And I'm not one of those people, and it pisses me off because the same like was just said a second ago, everybody's phony. Like on a regular basis, we talk about this white supremacy shit. On a regular basis, we talk about the cops. On a regular basis, we fight for this shit, right? Like, so when I say something about Ahmaud, that's time number 250 that I brought this shit up.
This is a regular conversation niggas had.
Right.
Every single day.
Right, but then all these people jump on it and they get clout for doing this shit. And I'm like, y'all not actually in the streets. Y'all not shaking nothing. Y'all not moving nothing.
No, they just having these little so-called peaceful protests, and they not applying no pressure. It's time to get on the TV. They plugging their own shit, like what happened with Darren Sills and the whole Ferguson, Baltimore shit. Like,
exactly. Ooh, get into
facts.
it, brother.
Facts.
Get into it.
Like,
Facts, man.
Darren Sills and the younger activists in Ferguson was putting the pressure on the police, and next thing you know, you saw D-Ray, Mr. Blue Vest come in. You see all these people come in. The thing about D-Ray, when Darren Sills smacked him up, next you know, you come to find out Darren Sills and all these young activists wind up getting assassinated. Let's call it what it is. And the police in Ferguson, they was like, nah, we don't know who did this. We don't know how they died. This, that, and the third. And then next thing you know, A couple months later, next thing you see D-Ray getting all the awards, shaking hands with Jack. All this shit off of, you see Sean King, he robbing black people. It's just a whole bunch of fuck shit going
You know
on
what it is, bro?
in
It
the
is.
name of
I
black
sit
thing.
back and it kind of like infuriates me because it's like we're worth a lot more dead. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
We're
Yes.
currency. Our deaths is currency. Our deaths is social currency. Our deaths is actually currency for different organizations. Like people look at, you know what I'm saying, like the next death, like the next business opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And it's so infuriating because it's like, bro, I'm not here to be nobody's fucking hashtag. I'm not, I'm just I'm that's that I'm gonna keep it a band. I'm not here to be nobody hashtag.
Right.
And for y'all to be profited in, and then when it comes to getting down in these streets, it's an issue. You get what I'm saying? When it comes to
Yeah.
doing anything outside of a fucking hashtag, it's an issue. Just yesterday, I raised the example. I'm like, yo, this is the only generation that try to fight racial violence with fucking internet posts. And a lot of people took that out of context, like, oh, they didn't have internet before. No, 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 no. Listen, you got to sit down and understand and read sometimes. They didn't have the internet, but they had media, but they also had the work to supplement. They
Right.
didn't go to just the news to write articles about the violence in the communities. They organized, they mobilized, they did work that supplemented what they put out to the media. So we
Right.
can't sit here and play stupid and play dumb at this point anymore because right now we're a lot more profitable dead than we are alive if we're keeping it a band.
Right. And you know,
Yeah.
it's funny because it sounds like, because I got the same speech when I was getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan, and they have us fill out a will, and then that will is called CGLI form. And did you know a serviceman is worth more dead than alive, like at least $400,000 to $500,000?
Shit.
Damn.
And that brings it to like this shit, and it's like we are worth more dead than alive, and it's like, yo, you gotta be fucking shitting me,
right?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so and it's like with God, you were saying something, bro?
No. You go ahead.
No, but like, and with like capitalism, we always talk about this too, and the failure of capitalism is like that is profitable. So yeah, Earl Grey had a good point. Like, yeah, Sean King is a phony, but because he has this platform, it'll get a lot of people to pay attention to it. That's a fact. But because shit is profitable and we see how he uses it to make profit more than to put it back into the community,
right?
And that's when the problem lies. That's where it's just like, are we really doing something to change it, or are we doing something to bring awareness because we know it's going to sell t-shirts, or it's going to sell books, or it's going to sell mugs, or it's going to, you get what I'm saying? It's going to get me traction when I go on these seminars or tours. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And that's my whole problem with this whole shit, because like we can organize like a lot more. Like if niggas really wanted to organize, we would stop talking on Twitter and meet up places.
Bro.
Yes.
I can have actual meetings and sit together and talk and find out what organizations.
But Colt, before you go there, all right, so that
My
brings
bad.
us to basically the meat of this conversation. Pause, because I am immature. Fucking so what are we looking at this realistically, right? What we've been doing has not worked. Correct? Am I right? Am I right?
Yeah,
You are correct. You are correct, sir.
Just looking at the facts, what we have been doing has not worked. The protesting, the peaceful protesting, the marching, the hashtagging, the let's do, I don't know, whatever the fuck, let's make t-shirts. It's not working, right? Honestly speaking, it's not working. So
It's not.
I wanted to use this platform for everybody here that's in the chat, for us here to actually start talking solutions. Actual, real, tangible solutions that after we speak here, we move forward and do.
Before I think if I'm gonna call something out while people are typing stuff, whatever. Well, Palm, what up?
Palm, what's good, man?
What up, Palm?
Yo.
But if I'm gonna call something out, it's because y'all named a few people, but I think that there's so many people that in the community is the ops, right? Like the reality of it is you got Dr. Umar Johnson, Tariq Nasheed, all these different people who are like Sean King, right? All these different people who are in their own lane theoretically,
Correct.
but their lanes equally are destroying the potential of actually organizing niggas, right?
Right.
Like, and that's just, we don't call that out enough, right? Like I'm watching the timeline, sitting back, because a lot of shit that I get be from y'all. Like I see the shit that y'all talk about a lot of times, and I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? Like niggas legitimately today were arguing all day about Meek Mill versus 6ix9ine.
Yep.
That's not a real thing.
I'm like,
That's not even a real thing.
Y'all
Some bullshit.
That's not even a real thing.
2 black men were just lynched, and it's all over the timeline. And it's only been a few hours since that been blowing up. What are y'all?
Yeah.
The fuck y'all
What
doing?
are you talking about?
Just like how the Earl Thomas shit came up soon, like the day this public lynching happened, the public lynching video showed. Now we got Earl Thomas getting chased by homegirl. I'm like, yo, can y'all focus for a minute? We got some real shit we got to talk about. Like we got to address this.
But that's it. Yeah. But that's it though. That's what they do. And I like one person, and again, that just comes to mind is even like what's his name? Oh boy, this fat toupee wearing ass nigga. What is this nigga's name? He in sports and shit.
Whitlock.
Fat boy.
Whitlock.
And I even got caught up because I used my energy instead of like talking about Ahmaud all day. I ended up going back and forth with this nigga Whitlock, right? And like that's what happens. We let these niggas who are the ops in the community detract us from the focus that we should have of organizing. You know,
that's a fact.
Right. You hit it on the head, and Sammy just made a good point. Like people are just stuck on the surface level of things, and that's what just frustrates me so much. That it's like your surface level thinking is killing us. And I'm not saying everybody should always be serious all the time. I'm not saying that everybody should not party. I'm not saying everybody should not turn up. What I'm saying is you need to be aware about what the fuck is going on and what you're doing. Everything you do has an effect. When you go and buy that bottle of liquor, where's that money going? Are you buying that bottle of liquor from a black-owned business that's staying in your community? That's what you got to start to be aware of and start to be a lot more intentional. That's why I wanted to start talking solutions at this point, because we need to really start rewiring the conscience of the black community. And that was like really the main basis of me starting this platform, to bring brothers like us together, and even sisters at some point, to come up here and talk solutions. Either as actually, if there's any sisters in the chat that would like to join this conversation, it's a lot of men up here. I would love to get y'all on here as well, so feel free. You know what I'm saying? We'll send you the link. What I'm saying is that at this point it's time to start reshaping the consciousness of black America. And we've been looking at so many people do it for the sake of entertainment and for the sake of progressing their careers. I think it's time we start addressing it for actual solutions. You get what I'm saying? So at this point, this is what I really wanted to put on the floor. Like, how do we move forward? What do you guys think are our best, most tangible actions moving forward, and how do we do so? Let's, right after this meeting, if we can get, you know what I'm saying, people in this chat, we start a group. It don't matter as long as it's a step forward. I want something to come from this conversation.
Nah, that's a fact. One thing I will say, I feel like we were talking about awareness earlier, and like we're all aware of like the shit that is happening, because to the point where niggas like are not seeking out to watch this video because we know somebody was brutally murdered and we know that the people did that shit. You get what I'm saying? Right. So I feel like so with awareness, we should probably stop trying to sensationalize probably the worst parts of it, and probably try to sensationalize the actual answers of what we should do. Okay. So now, how can we all, maybe not like because of quarantine and shit, maybe not all meet up right now, but how can we all get important members of different subsections of the black community to come together and actually try to have conversations about what can we do to stop this?
And even speak on that point, it's not even we need the important people, like the everyday average person. Like, you gotta understand, like,
no, it's a fact.
The people that we revere were average people that we ended up revering because of the work they did.
Right.
They weren't exceptional off rip. You get what I'm saying? So at this point, we need, like, even if it's not us six up here, we're here to have conversations that sparks the minds in our community to bring the resources in that what we're able to do. So I think, like, so for me, what I always sat back and thought of, like, I started to spread love Pan African organization, which is based, you know what I'm saying, just based on giving, it addresses one of our concerns as a community. The way I looked at the breakdown of the community, what do we need? Um, I look at it economically. We need resources. We need education. We need jobs. We need opportunities. Right. We need if we want to get people and our brothers off the street and something else, we need to start injecting money into our community. How do we do
Facts.
that? That was the one thing. Next, people are going hungry. Nobody should go hungry with the surplus of food that we have in America. How do we address
Mm-hmm.
that concern and ensure that the people get the food that they necessarily need? Education. Is it do we need to start to secede away from the natural American education system and start to build our own institutions?
We
How do
have
we
to.
do that moving forward? So that will spread love was just addressing the food part. Essentially, and then we have the Black Lobby was another organization started by Alicia, and I had a hand in starting it, but that was the beautiful brain behind that brainchild. Is like, we have to come together and start working in the education system. So that was the Black Lobby. So what I'm saying is these are all tangible situations that we can do. How do we do it? And what do you think our next steps are?
I
I'll
feel
start with
like we
Anthony.
should. I feel. Oh, go ahead, Anthony.
So on everything you spoke on, like in terms of food, like for example, food, we should be linking up with like the black farmers, like a lot of black farmers nationwide.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to link up with them, see what programs we could possibly do
Mm-hmm.
with them, because
I'm taking notes. I'm not like
because
texting. I'm taking notes.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So
Yo,
like
Anthony, you kind of
You
breaking up.
breaking up a
Yeah,
little
the
bit.
Wi-Fi is broken up again.
Damn.
In the meantime,
oh
Fred, you go and let's get
yeah,
your audio together,
goddamn
Fred.
fucking
You
Wi-Fi.
jump in.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna pass over to Colt for a second because I got to think on it. To be honest with you, I
Right.
feel like I'll tell you why when I go. Go ahead, Colt.
So I mean, I have like a few ideas. I feel like there's a lot of like good in like community libraries. Like I know we have like a lot of books like in our houses and shit that we like don't use like that. So we do have to find a place where we could like gather as much knowledge about like, and not like textbooks and shit from like white people, but like a lot of our knowledge and the books that we think are important for our community and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Like community gardening. I feel like we should get into gardening and shit and farming and shit.
Right.
And we should start getting those spaces and getting to like growing fucking produce and shit.
Absolutely.
The co-ops, like like white people have co-ops, like where like the whole like community comes together and they have a garden and then that's where they sell the fucking produce that niggas made. Like we should have our own shit like when it comes to that. And like even with like probably more programs with kids, like if niggas is so lit to throw 30 parties, why not throw 20 parties and 10 community events, nigga?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, like it'll pay for itself. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there's a lot of times where we have ideas about things being lit, but
Mm-hmm.
we forget, but it's only for us.
Right.
Like only for our core circle group or age. Like we can't forget the kids. We can't forget like the LGBT community that's black. We
Talk
can't
about
forget,
it.
like, you get what I'm saying? Like niggas be like really be like, yo, I'm pro-black,
Right.
but fuck hoteps. I'm pro-black, but
Potluck
fuck
Crew
that
made a
person.
very good point that there are programs like these, by the way, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's why I'm taking notes
That's a
too,
fact.
because once we take notes, we start to pool resources. Okay, who's doing what? Who's doing this? How do we get involved and start to bring these people into one? You know what I'm saying? One web to where we're all working together. So you're absolutely right, Potluck Crew.
We just gotta be more inclusive, I feel, and I feel like that'll help like a lot of shit because we really divide ourselves when we try to use our subsections and sensationalize agendas at the same time.
Sammy brings up another point. What do y'all think about like the spiritual aspect of it? I think that's one of the most important parts.
Well, honestly, I'm gonna be real. Like that's what really what I've like been thinking about. Honestly, because at the end of the day, I'm a big believer in black people knowing themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I say that because your mentality is everything, and it begins with you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
At the end of the day, if you know yourself, that means that you realize your greatness. You'll realize that that you're able to fix your own problems. And instilling that confidence in yourself, having that racial confidence, in yourself, and that extends to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? One thing I just always one thing I've noticed is that sometimes we monetary is we look at it as like the only validation in our community as doing something for the community. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel as though that there's plenty of black people who have money, but you know, how many of them are like doing anything like really with it? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
money has no value. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the person who has it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so what I'm looking at now, what I'm looking at is definitely just, you know, a mentality and making sure that we have high self-esteem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
low self-esteem is definitely something that's, I feel, is crippling the black community.
Oh yeah.
You know
You're
what I'm
not
saying?
lying. You're not
Because
lying,
if you
bro.
don't, if you don't think that you can solve your problem, you're never gonna get up to actually solve your problem. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying?
Facts.
So, you know, my main thing is one thing I try to like instill in as many you know, younger brothers especially, you know what I'm saying, that
Ooh,
you
talk
know,
about it.
you have the power to you know, take control of your life. You know what I'm saying? Like don't let them dictate your life. You know what I'm saying? Like you if you know how strong you are, if you know, black and proud and great, like we tweet so much,
Right.
or you know, like we have on the shirt so much and things like that. I mean, you actually got to feel that. You can't feel that just when it's safe. You got to do that like you got to have that all the time. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
you're not lying, bro. Because I think that was the most important part for me, was getting myself spiritually and mentally right. Because
Mm-hmm.
I think the pride that I had myself was based on ego and the things I've accomplished. You get what I'm saying?
Facts.
And once
Yes.
I started to learn myself and where we come from, what we've been through, and what we have to go through to get where we need to go,
Mm-hmm.
it started to become, okay, what do I need to be within my community to do that? And how do I
Yeah.
build myself mentally to do so? So at that point, it was like, how do I be an asset to my community if I'm not mentally right, if I'm not spiritually right? So I had to
Mm-hmm.
regain that confidence, which was just learning my place in society just as a black man. You know what I'm saying? Where do I stand? What do I do? How do I move forward? Because, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know my background, where I come from. You know what I mean? It's crazy that I'm 30 plus now, and it's like I'm having the most fun because I never thought I'd make it here. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
I live
Yes,
hard
sir.
and I live fast. I had a blast. You get what I'm saying? So it was like, at 30 plus,
Mm-hmm.
like, what do I do now? And it's like my energy is just like, yo, you here for the people because you wasn't supposed to be here in the first place. So the fact that you are here, you gotta be part of something that changes something, or else you wasting this time that you was blessed with. So I think that was the most important part, was of learning who I am, was to gain that spiritual and mental confidence just as a black man of African descent.
Yo, just to piggyback off that, I have like one sentence just to say, but like I feel that 100%, and I felt like I was always trying to be the image of a black man instead of just being a black man. Like, and
Yeah.
that shit was like mad hard because like
Yeah.
I felt like growing up, a lot of the times I just always felt like the black man, that nigga, he not crying, like he's not fucking sad
Right,
all the fucking time.
right.
Like if somebody in my face and they disrespect me and I feel like it's disrespect, I just gotta fucking hook off, or I just gotta fucking just be mad angry towards them. And it's
Right.
just like that image that they place on us is not the image that we have to be. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what we have to kind of shatter right now to even get further. And it's hard for
Absolutely.
some people.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely.
Hello?
Yo, Hash, what's good, man?
Yeah. Hash,
Oh, okay.
Sammy, what up,
Sammy,
Sammy?
what's
Yo.
up,
How y'all doing?
y'all?
How y'all doing? What's up?
What's up? So,
Thank you for having me.
You
I
know,
got
you
No
know.
problem.
I got a question to pose to y'all though,
What's
right?
up?
So like blackness, we always say this, like blackness is a spectrum, it's not a monolith, so on and so forth, right? But what do we do as a community when not so somebody said hoteps, right? We said hoteps, the
We
LGBT.
here.
That's a fact. It's a fact. It's a fact.
The gang is in the building. You heard?
The
Yeah.
nation is here.
The nation is here.
The nation is here.
That was stupid. But like, what do we do with the black people who really are actually setting us back? Because the reality is that like I exist in a very interesting way for me personally, where I see like both sides of the fucking spectrum. I get like the behind the scenes, right? So like I'll be on him with my niggas who are from where I'm from. These are my niggas like Trace man I grew up with, right? This is my nigga from the dirt. But then it's like on the other end, I'm in these rooms and I'm like, oh yeah, these are the niggas that we be talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's a fact. Big facts.
But
That's a
you know
big
what?
fact, though.
But then it's hard for me when I get in these rooms to be like, oh, y'all niggas, y'all not the right type of black. Because I'm like, damn, What the fuck
Right.
do you do then?
What is a right type of black?
Sammy.
But
Yeah, Sammy.
Sammy, go ahead.
Yeah. So people can only meet themselves as deeply, or you can only meet people as deeply as they've met themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So being in Black spaces, like, you had to be the example of the kind of Blackness that you're trying to promote.
Oh, yes.
So going in spaces and being like, yo, these niggas is like lagging. That's not the mentality that's going to attract open-mindedness. Like, you got to show, like, you know, this is where I was and this is where I'm at and this is where I'm heading. Because when people see that, they gotta see the proof in the pudding. So you got to actually, yeah.
I feel that. I think that I'm gonna use a direct example so I can like give a whatever. So like for instance, I was a surrogate for Warren, then I was a surrogate for Bernie Sanders, right? When I became a surrogate for Bernie Sanders, niggas was like, oh, we want you to do a panel with Sean King. I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing no fucking panel with fucking Sean King. And y'all niggas stupid, right? But they're like, yeah, but like if you come too, it'll bring out a certain type of Black people and y'all can show like the spectrum. I'm like, damn, that's not wrong. But I also don't want to be on a panel with this nigga because he's a fucking fraud.
Wait,
Quick question. What color was those people?
Huh?
What color was those people that asked that?
Black. That's it. But that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
like,
they're the ones.
Yeah, a lot of these spaces, the worst people that I honestly interact with don't be white people a lot of times. It be Black people with privilege and access.
But this is just on the point that you made. My mentality on that is you have to meet confrontation. So if you're only around everyone who thinks exactly how you think and agree with the ideas that you agree, you don't get to actually challenge those ideas. I'm really big on challenging your ideas.
Right.
None of your ideas are yours. They're just something that you picked up from somewhere. So you have to be able to test those ideas on theories. So I am the person who, I don't agree with anything Sean King has to say, but you know what? Say what you have to say to me so I can say my ideas back and we can see which ones come to the middle. Right. Your ideas are not even yours. You can't even really identify him with his ideas, even though he is personally a goofy. His ideas are just his platform. They're just things that he picked up and he learned. So you go through those and you test your ideas on his and y'all meet somewhere in the middle. It doesn't always have to be a confrontation. Sometimes this could be a meeting of the minds.
No, you're absolutely right because I always study. So when you go back and you watch Malcolm X, he also went on these platforms with known clowns. You get what I'm saying? Because he knew his truth was that strong, and I think
I picked that up.
That's very powerful. I'm gonna let you go right real quick.
No,
it's kind of like you brought up D-Ray earlier. I met D-Ray, and instead of kind of being like, man, fuck this nigga, I pulled him to the side, like, bro, let me highlight you real quick. So I'm like, yo, with dudes like, you know what I'm saying, you, Sean King, he's like, nah, fuck out of here, I don't fuck with Sean King. I was like, off rip, you got a couple more points. Because you don't fuck you my nigga. you might be my nigga a little bit.
That's the homie.
You might be my nigga a little bit for saying that. But I was like, how do we start to bridge that gap? And we had a really dope conversation. So I think it's imperative that even in these spaces where we don't necessarily like these people, if we know we're telling the truth, then there's no issue. You know what I'm saying? Being in the same rooms. I think the truth will always stand true.
Finding a place of similarity with people that you differ with is the easiest way to have a common conversation. If you can find already places that your ideas meet, then you can grow from that place.
Right.
So I always, whenever I go into a conversation, especially with people that I differ from, I definitely first want to let them get their points out. And then I want to pick the points where we agree. So we can say, all right, cool. So these things we can agree make sense. Let's put those to the side. And now we're just picking apart little pieces of our arguments so that it's not really just an actual argument. It's more so of a debate.
Right.
I'm sorry. I was in the comments. First of all, thank you for having me on here.
Yeah,
I was in the comments and everything you guys are saying is very strong. It resonates with a lot of people. I want to find a way that we can get these conversations into a place of actual solutions where we start finding all right, cool. I feel like we spent a lot of time finding what the problems are. And we spend a lot of time trying to figure out how we can get these people on board with us. And I think we kind of need to let that go. And I don't want to say that where people feel like I'm saying that people hate that, but realistically, we're at a place yo, we just need to make shit happen, and people who are gonna be smart enough to find out, they're gonna figure out.
Right.
Same thing with I'm an artist, so same thing with music. Yo, bro, you just gotta make shit, and they're gonna catch on. Niggas is gonna figure out, like, all right, cool, this is the logical next step.
Right.
But once we, as the people who know that we need to make that next step, when we figure out what that next step is, that's where we need to move on.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yeah. See, I agree with that, but I think that that's what I was saying before, right? So, like, that's one of the reasons why in my 30s now, I'm not really willing to have certain conversations anymore because I did that in my 20s, right?
Okay.
And now about action, and that's why I asked y'all as a group.
You're right.
I agree with that.
I agree with that because my thing with that is if I know where you stand, you can keep going where you're going, but we don't have to have any discussions. Like I know where you stand, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not like sometimes I don't like at the end of the day, like I don't have to meet common ground with everybody. Like you stand where you stand, you hear where you hear.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Whoever rock with it, rock with it. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's willing to listen, whoever's willing to, because you know what I mean, teach me something, whatever, you know, we could build. But if that goes to a certain point, fine. You stay where you stay. Look, it's like at the end of the day, we're gonna have to focus on people that's really want to progress, not bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing about that though, that becomes difficult. That's why I was saying the two worlds, right? So like you use somebody like, let's say like a Sean King, right? It's not as simple as being like, oh, you got your lane and I got my lane, because we're gonna need as many people as possible to make shit happen, right? And the issue really becomes if I have somebody like Colton or Palm, right? And I'm like, that's the voice that this group actually needs to be hearing, those two voices. But Sean King has the million followers and he's saying some bullshit. Now I have to take the time to recondition these people just to get to the work, right?
Why?
Well,
you don't. But
why? Yeah, but why?
Wait, hold on. You know what? We're gonna go Sammy, then we're gonna go Hash, and I'll go after Hash.
All right, just real quick, because you're saying that you feel like you have to recondition people, and I understand that feeling of like trying to get people up to your level before you actually start the real conversation, right? But I feel like you can't underestimate the power of planting a seed and then watering that seed with time. Like you can't give them all the information right now.
Right.
Plant it, and then as time goes on, you keep nurturing that plant. Just like how you said we need to start growing plants. Well, actually start doing that with people in their mind. You know
See, I agree with that, and I'm gonna be.
Hold on. We're gonna go Hash.
Go ahead.
Okay, so two parts. One, why? Why do we have? I honestly want to know that real question. Why do we have to recondition people? Why is that our burden?
Yeah.
Why is that something that we have? I feel like that's not our job, bro. Our job is to create things, like to create the things that people will find.
Right.
Your job is not to convince people that this is the way. They're gonna find it or they're not.
Yeah.
It's true.
And secondly, I think it all comes back down to infrastructure. I honestly believe that that's where we need to start focusing. I think we need to start creating the platforms for people to be able to make the next steps.
No, you're absolutely right.
I think like you were talking earlier, like not physically meeting up, but if you have a place where people can, like, even this app, if we had created this app, you understand, is a place where people create those conversations. So creating that next step, I think, is the real vital thing, is trying to find some type of way to create infrastructure or finding people who know how to do that. Like you were talking about the community gardening. In Atlanta, when I started a community garden, and I had a friend who works within a corporation that just invested in Black businesses. Any type of startup that you did, they did that. So there are people out here who their whole job is to find us.
Yeah.
Facts. That's a fact.
No, you're not lying. And to respond to Fred, I think a lot of the time we get stuck in theory, and sometimes you just need to do. And I think that was what made Spread Love grow so rapidly. You get what I'm saying? It was something that, I was just like, yo, I got like $20. I'm about to go get some food, make some sandwiches, go help out some homeless people, spread some love. Y'all want to pull up. 10 people came out. We handed out food. Next thing you know, it's a whole fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, I was so excited that went like that, because it was what I wanted people to see, that we not nobody special, but we can do with what we have. And I think that's the most important part, is knowing that we don't need we don't even need to really discuss Sean King when the fact that we got people with brains that work like ours, and we could just put our resources together to say, yo, this is what we can do, and this is actionable at this point. So we get stuck in theory, and at this point, that's why I wanted to do that, because it was like, all right, if I do this, will it work? You get what I'm saying? It was like, so it was, I could have not done it and be like, yo, that wouldn't have worked, but I did it and it worked. So now I know, you know what I'm saying, for a fact that when you just do it, people will start to do it as well. You get what I'm saying? And
Facts.
you attract you attract like-minded peoples when you just do. You get what I'm saying?
And
Because if they really fuck with you, if they really respect what you're doing, they're gonna pop out. And I'm telling you now, like from that, I've made like lifelong friendships and families just from those 8 to 9 weeks we were able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And really get back to the community. So it's important for us to just take those steps and just do what we can in the moments that we can.
I want to add to you right now. Because what you're describing is like you had an inspiration and then you acted on it.
Right.
Like you can always just have action. Like sometimes you have to really align with yourself and what your spirit needs before you can even have the thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why I say people got to meet themselves first, and you have to be the model of what that looks like.
Absolutely.
But once people see, all right, they're moving to their own drum, and this is them to these paths, and now they're meeting people, and all these awesome things are happening around them. Now they want to start doing that themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even talking about like what Fred was talking about, like going on the panel with Sean King, right? Like I feel that like being seen with him is probably some clown shit, but at the same time, like I feel like walking into a spot and kicking the fucking door in, saying what you got to say, and then walking out. More than likely, a lot of motherfuckers are gonna be like, "Who the fuck just kicked that door in?"
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Like, and after time, niggas will realize the nigga who kicked the door in and said the real shit, he's the right person. Like that other motherfucker was a clown.
Yeah.
So like sometimes we have to make ourselves uncomfortable in spaces, and I had to learn that. Like from doing the Colton show, from doing all the different shit that I've ever done, like. Literally when I did the shit with the kids and like Trey and them came out, like a few people came out and like helped, like bro, like sometimes you have to be in spaces and motherfuckers be like, who the fuck is this nigga? Like why is he even in here? And then later on everyone's like, that's the motherfucker we want to do shit. That's the motherfucker we want to hear him talk. That's the motherfucker they gotta listen.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you gotta be the bad guy to get your point on.
Yeah.
So I think that
when we watch,
I love it.
They always condition us to hate the bad guy, but more oftentimes the bad guy start telling the truth, and then we go, wait a minute, maybe he's right. Maybe, hold on, wait, hold on. Like for example, right when we talk about Batman, when Bane walked in, he started speaking to the people. People start turning up, like, wait, hold on, Batman. The fuck are you talking?
Exactly.
Right.
Hold on, Batman. That's how we got to start approaching these uncomfortable spaces. Like, all right, cool, I get it.
Yeah.
A lot of these so-called activists, these activists, they scumbags, and that's when like us and other like-minded individuals got to walk in those spaces, grab that mic sometime, and be like, look. Whatever he's saying, cool. Let me tell you how it really is. Let me tell you how. Let me lay some solutions around, and then whatever y'all, we're gonna leave it to y'all. Because 9 times out of 10, people gonna listen to the bad guy.
They remember the motherfucker.
People are gonna listen to what. Yeah, they're gonna listen because especially right now in this pandemic and everything we got going on, and between we got the government on one hand. They don't want to give us a cent. You got these guys getting ready. You got these other actors and entertainers. They're getting ready to profit off of this shit. At some point, somebody got to say the uncomfortable truth.
Right.
They got to speak loud. They got to speak it loud and clear because we got the future. We got the future that we got to bring up in this world, and all and the pleasantries and everything. We got to start having these uncomfortable conversations. We got to start telling these uncomfortable truths. And just like
what is the uncomfortable truth? Say it.
Well, I'm not calling it like on my personally like uncomfortable truth. I'm just saying like in general like things that are gonna make like not make people, but like
no, I think uncomfortable truth actually is that if this shit doesn't get done, then you'll never truly be free. I don't give a fuck, or it's gonna wind up in death. That's the uncomfortable truth about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no other way to really like sugarcoat this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because like this is this is a ruthless thing that we dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like we could just try to like, you know, like try to like, you know, we can make it as nice as we possibly can. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, niggas is getting killed out here.
And it's
you know what I'm saying? Niggas is broke. You know what I'm saying? Like all this whole kind of shit is like everything is fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, yo, if you're not gonna get this done, it's like you either you going die a slave. You know what I'm saying? And some people are comfortable with that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not one of those people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I
and
guess
every and before I let you every facet of black of our living here in this fucked up country is getting affected from the education on a political scale, on a food scale, on an economic scale. So we gotta have these discussions now on like, okay,
all right, cool. So
what's the problem?
All right, so let's start it. I got an idea. I think I have there's a couple. I live in Canarsie. Well, I'm from Canarsie. I moved, but I'm from Canarsie, and all my young niggas that live around, big Crip niggas. They all just, you know, have no other options. They believe, which I want to change. So I came up with one of my ideas when one of my young niggas who just finished telling me about spinning blocks and shit. I said, fucking anyway. He came to me, like pulled me up in the trap and said, "Yo, bro, can you show me how to fill out a resume? I mean, fill out a job app." And I was like, "Yeah, you got a resume? Like, it's online. You got an iPhone, nigga. I can show you the app right now." He's like, "Nah, I don't know what you're talking about." Showed him Indeed and shit. And then two of my other homies just standing over our back watching. So I came up with the idea of setting up a program where we show them how to fill out resumes, how to have an interview. We can take them to like a department store, a group of them, get them all suits, and we have like a job fair. And we could set up a program where it'd be like week by week. We
niggas can even like find them like group interviews and shit.
You know, like, but even in like they had them in fucking Canarsie. They had fairs, like job fairs.
Facts. We can take them to job fairs.
The lady who runs the job fair, like I just want to go to one and talk to the lady who runs it, because that person right there, the government pays her to find people to do it,
right?
Like to run them, to put your own job fair together.
Right.
You just have to contact the job themselves and get a representative and get a place. So these are tangible. Like I have ideas. I don't know people. I just moved back from Atlanta, honestly. So like I'm here and I need people who are gonna write the letters to these people to find how to get those going. Even like the garden, I told Colton before, like there's people in Atlanta who will pay people in New York to find places, and you have to get the soil. You have to like write up how much these things cost and how much you will pay the workers to run these places. But if you could get more than one place, they will pay your company to do these things.
Right.
But this is why I said before that I feel like you have to do some reconditioning, because the reality is this, right? Like, it's not about necessarily having uncomfortable conversations. A lot of these conversations, a lot of these niggas have heard, and which is why they can put out reverse narratives, right? Like, there's a lot of different types of black people. And, you know, when you talk about like a program like that, I'm like, oh, that shit is fire. But that shit will require black people in a state of privilege to give the access to make that even happen. Meaning that if they don't understand the necessity for it, you have to find a way to make them understand that necessity, right? And people don't realize, you know, and this is why I said it's kind of important. It's like, for me, I'm like, damn, there's certain spaces I just see where I'm like, a lot of black people move in white supremacy and leverage white supremacy for their personal gain, right? And I don't think that a lot of people understand that till you get there, you know? So I think that I mean, that's dope. But that's what I was asking earlier. It's like, yo, what do we do about those people? Because whether it's the people who are like, oh, Forget Sean King. Even if it's somebody that's like, I'm senator, this, that, and the third. And I'm a black senator and I'm a Democrat, but I'm also really anti-black. But niggas rock with me just because I am black. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
I think the Palm, you saying something?
I've been listening to everybody, and like all this community shit is cool, is needed, all that. But we here because two brothers got killed, cold blood, on camera. The community shit ain't gonna change that.
Good though.
What are we gonna do to change that?
Well,
are we gonna start shooting back? Or are we gonna start fighting back?
That's how we get killed. You have to be rational. Like they need you to react so that they can have a reason to.
We gave them rationale, though.
But
we gave them rational. Countless. We've been giving them rational for that. Like you said something earlier about planting a seed. Malcolm X planted seeds of protecting ourselves years. I wasn't even born when the nigga planted those seeds, and we still here dealing with that today. So it's like. All of the community shit is cool. It's needed. It's needed when we're living in a real society. What we live in right now.
What you dealing with?
This is not real for us.
So
shit, not even just for us, because this ain't just a black problem. If you're not rich in America, you are the enemy. So at some point, niggas gotta stop turning the other cheek.
So what do you say?
And like I'm an agent of destruction. I'm for tearing shit down. I'm not for talking. I'm not for
we gonna talk about it.
I'm not for none of that shit. But I'm not
go ahead.
I'm not gonna tear shit down for niggas that want to get the new iPhone in September.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna be a martyr for niggas that are gonna move on after me.
Right.
Right.
So when niggas want to do that, that's when we'll get progress. Because revolutions don't happen being nice. There hasn't been a revolution that happened in this world where niggas was just like, please be nice to me. And niggas turned around and was nice to niggas.
Right.
Well, there are solutions for that. So we can get into that.
All right, so let's get into that because I wanted to touch on it because all y'all like we're saying like these points are like they don't take away from each other's points, is what I'm saying. Every aspect of what Sammy's saying is true. Every aspect of what Fred is saying is true, and every aspect of what Palm is saying is true. Now, what I was saying was we taking it out of these conversation of talking about politicians. We hear the people like us, the everyday average black person. This is on us. This is not on them. So all of this talking about what they can do and how they can help us and reaching out to this.
Yeah.
Look, I'm here to talk about solutions within us because to get to what Palm is talking about, we're going to need some kind of organization. And it doesn't include the masses because most of these people there was a 1 million man march, right? A 1 million man march. There wasn't a million black people. It wasn't a million black people march. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't a million niggas. It was a million people. So you got to understand the masses have never been involved in any mass type of movement or organization. There have been small pockets of people to make change. There have never been a mass movement ever in history nowhere. You get what I'm saying? There's been this small pocket of people that said we're going to turn up. So what we need to start talking about is how can we as small pockets of people, we don't need 100, we don't need 200, we need a good, smart 20 people right now to start thinking of solutions.
I have an honest question. Because again, just moved back from Atlanta. How do you, any person in this live, obtain a firearm legally in New York?
I was just thinking about shit. You read my
Maji, listen to me. I'm from Atlanta.
Let Anthony
since I moved from Atlanta, I've had
Anthony
I can touch any gun I wanted. Yeah. My brother walks we in the club, my brother got his thing on him, and the police walk up, we show them our right to carry, and it's our party, and they can't say nothing to us. And we the only people in the party with that thing on us. I can walk anywhere comfortably. So being up here, I'm not even gonna lie, I'm a little nervous, bro. I keep the little protection or whatever, but to be able to move how I wanted to move, how I'm comfortable, I need to learn something. Somebody put me on.
Yeah.
So
Anthony,
because in my research, because like, all right, so like, being a military man, like you said, we facing some real shit, and we need to defend ourselves. Well, one of the ways of obtaining a firearms license, you can actually get it through the city. I was actually researching this before the pandemic happened. You got they got a form to fill out through the police department. You get your references and everything. You fill it out. I forgot the price of it. I'll look at it while once we get the idea flowing. But yeah, you can apply for it through the city. If you live upstate, they do have a license process upstate. But for the city, they do have having you could apply for it through the NYPD, and I think a couple other places. Once we get off of here, while y'all talking, I'll look through my bookmarks for those links so we can let the people know to go and get one.
Yeah,
and
we'll
then also
description or something like
yeah,
that, or send it out or something. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. But yeah, that's the first step, and then
Oh,
yeah, we can get into the whole
audio is breaking up a little bit.
Setting this up because not only carrying firearms but training in. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
you hear me now?
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. So aside from the first part, which is obviously getting your license, after people get their license, the next thing we got to do is training.
Yeah.
Because everybody got to be proficient in and not just in handguns. You need proficiency in handguns and your rifles, because obviously machine guns ain't available unless you got access to the black market. Right. You can get a squad automatic weapon. And then so you got your training, you got your tactics, things that you got through your tactics. You got your remedial action, your what to do if you're by yourself or you with a partner, or there's a whole lot that we got to set up for us defense, self-defense, not just like within us, but as a community in these small pockets. Because the thing that we have the advantage over is that because we're in small pockets, we're not like white people where we're all over the place. We can set these little small organizations up where we get people to not only apply for their firearms license, we can hold training where we teach people things like speed reloads, combat medicine, learning how to patrol, learning how to like actually shoot, learning everything it is required to be to operate like a guerrilla fighter, learning how to blend in with people, learning learn how to protect like our dignitaries, our kids, setting up VC like vehicle control points, learning how learning these different things that I learned to fight the Taliban overseas. These same things can be applied when it comes to us, because there's no reason why like a guy like Ahmaud should have been alone, or shouldn't have had it on him to be able to defend himself. There should be no reason why we can't defend kids in Brownsville while they're getting stomped out by the police. Like, as soon as the kids start, there should be adults around with pistols and going up to the police like, yo, get your hands off the kid. There should be guys that's watching the scene. There should be no reason why when we go to funerals, cops got access to beat the shit out of black kids. There should be no reason why black kids should be by themselves, period. And that's through not only self-defense training, but also military-style training, where we can provide security for our own. And if we got to go and fight the police in self-defense, because that's what's going to happen. Hey, this is what's going to happen. If we got to shoot at the police, we need to know smart ways of doing it, like finding cover and concealment, certain tactics, and that again, that all comes from not just like God. Like, we need to tap into guys like myself, other shooters that's been training and been overseas.
Yeah,
we need to aside from also the actual training, we need to be reading and like books like Che Guevara's guerrilla warfare and how to conduct it. I have access to military publications straight from the Marine Corps on how to do some of these things, on how to patrol basic marksmanship. Like these are the things that we got to start, like, because we can't just rely on peaceful marching. We're gonna get into some shit.
Right.
I'm sick and tired of
just like every single thing he's saying, like this is, we can even take it out of theory. This is proven with the MOVE organization in Philadelphia. This is proven with the Black Panther Party. This is proven with the Student Nonviolent Coalition Committee. This is like, this is everywhere you look at in history that, you know what I'm saying, people, when they come together to peacefully organize,
right,
they meet opposition and then have to defend themselves. Just to even speak what you're saying, that linking with people like you that have military experience. Martin Luther King did believe in nonviolence, but in those marches with the Student Nonviolent Coalition Committee, he had armed security, which was called
right,
the Deacons of Defense, which were veterans who fought in the Vietnam War, who then spread into communities to defend their communities. And these were the people that the KKK and things like that were afraid of.
That's right.
And we don't know these stories. So just to even take it out of theory, when you go back and look at our history, we have always stepped up in these roles. It's just that it's now time in 2020 that with
That's
technology
right.
being so much of the, you know, distraction, that we actually have actionable things that have already been in place. We just have to go read the blueprints now. You know what I'm saying? And like Sammy was saying, that's why it comes, like, it's what to Sammy and Fred's points, like reconditioning. We don't have to recondition them. People have to recondition themselves, and that starts with reading and understanding your history. Because a lot of the time when we start talking like this, people saying, so what are you going to do? And it's like, if you look at history, we've already answered these questions. Right. So you don't have to challenge me. These questions have already been answered. You can look at the Nation of Islam. They went and got their peoples out of jail when they needed to get out of jail. You get what I'm saying? The Black Panther Party did protect their people from the police because they had lethal weapons to do so. And just again, we're taking things out of theory. Let's take it to today. I forgot. Didn't those armed guards, black dudes? I forgot where it was. They protected one of the district attorneys or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, they did.
To the buildings or whatever the case may be, because they were licensed to carry and it was legal for them to do so. You get what I'm saying? So these are things that are actually true and happening now. These are not fairy tales. You know what I mean?
I think that's the first step. Our first step definitely is legal firearms. Because it makes no sense to even start talking about trying to have a revolution if we're not armed. A revolution is a war, because you need an actual armory. You need to stop how this. There was just a guy last year who they raided his house and he had like 50 guns or something like that. I have a friend down south. Oh, this white guy. I can't even call him a friend. It's an old white guy. He's a good friend of my family, and that man has an actual armory. Like, and he builds his own bullets in his backyard. Like, he that has his own downfield training.
I'm saying, like, even if you ain't doing it legally, I'm just saying you need something.
I was just about to say, like, because when
you
you
get
want
it
to tear
done.
something down, laws don't matter.
It's a fact.
I'm talking about destroying the fucking structure that we live under. This is I don't want this shit to be no more. Because there's no fixing. There's no like. That's like trying to go fix the pipes in Flint. Like, you can't fix that.
Yeah, you can't fix something that's broken on purpose. Like, it's not meant to do exactly what it's doing.
Built to fail.
If the change is like, why would I work wrong? That'll make
exactly.
sense.
Well, this shit is just broken to us. It's not broken to them.
Exactly.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the way to do that is through guerrilla warfare. And
that's a fact. Niggas gotta go North Korea on these niggas.
That is. I agree, but like
North Korea. Look,
Vietnam.
Hold on. North Korea. Wait, hold on. Because we got to educate the people too. We cannot fight this war symmetrically. We got to fight it asymmetrically, and that's through guerrilla tactics. That's through hit and runs, ambushes, IEDs, snipers. We talking about following the same ideology, follow the same tactics as the Mujahideen. So if we go on that approach, if we're talking about all-out war, then we're gonna have to go that approach. Because look at history. Because when we look at history, right, these crackers are not good at combating guerrilla warfare.
I was just about to say that. Yo, the nigga made me think of Vietnam. Like, niggas lost Vietnam to shit inside of a stick.
Yes.
Like, that's what we lost a war. Our advanced military lost a war to niggas shitting in a stick and then niggas stepping on it. Like we lost a war to that.
I'm gonna be honest. Look, y'all know I'm all for the weapons. I keep a good weapon on me, but but with that being said, though, and I agree, Anthony. Like I'm not a military nigga. I just play Call of Duty here and there. So
hey, but yo, that's a sense
I'm a
of training.
military nigga because I play Call of Duty. So.
Yeah.
Look, you gotta get the training somehow.
I wanted to ask Anthony a question though, and I'm gonna ask the group though, because you know what I realized, like honestly, these white people, I'm not fuck the military, fuck the police, so on and so forth. These neo-Nazis have been on this illegal gun making bullets, guerrilla warfare. I mean, these niggas, like the other day I bought a gas mask, right? And the gas mask from online, like just in case this shit get crazy, I need some gas masks. He was like, yeah, I just had a bunch of them skinhead boys buy all these up. You got the last one. I was like, how many? He was like hundreds. I was like, oh shit.
Right.
No, yeah, this is. Did you see that shit on the news where they raided one of the white supremacist houses and the mound of fucking guns they had in that?
Yeah.
They had a mountain of guns. I was like,
yeah, I know.
Preparing for the race.
Them niggas been ready. They've been training though, but that's why that's even why like I know the video is upsetting, but like if you watch how them niggas move, like it was some hit shit, like it was mad militarized. Like these niggas was not moving like regular niggas.
Let me tell you something too. The training ain't hard. It's not hard. The problem is that people don't know that this training is out there. Like yo, and you know we'll put it here too. Throughout my career as a machine gunner in the United States Marine Corps, the amount of training and reading material that they gave us for every single thing that's out there. I have it all on my computer. Problem is people don't know that this information is out there. We don't have programs and stuff set up to where we take a group of people and we go train them in the basics. Like, yes, we got to stockpile on weapons, we got to stockpile on ammo, but training.
Yeah, I think he cutting off, bro.
Word.
But yo, I gotta finish. I gotta dip on y'all.
Training.
I don't want to get fired during the pandemic.
All right. Yo, do your thing, Palm.
All right, bro.
Peace, bro.
All right, be safe, man.
Yo.
But yeah, if we take the
take over
like,
the world too.
Yeah,
facts.
That's true. That's coming. That's coming. That's coming. But yeah, like I was saying, the training, the thing that people don't understand, like, because everybody thinks you just buy a gun and then you just start shooting. No, the amount of training that you can do, get ready. Like, the training is going to make you more lethal than just buying a pistol. Because niggas can buy a pistol all day. If you take the training, like, a lot of people don't know there's different kinds of trigger pulls for pistols and rifles. Different kinds of shots, like hammer pair, troll pairs. Like, a lot of people don't know what a box drill is. Like, if we set up the infrastructure and organization where we get people registered and you could take even paintball guns and train people on how to.
Very true.
Because I've done this in my military career. Like, they got this thing called a kill house where it's literally a practice facility.
All right, guys, I gotta get out of here.
Take paint.
All right,
Hash. Do your thing, bro.
Peace, brother.
All right,
peace, bro.
Like, they got this thing called a kill house where it's a practice training facility. Use paintball guns to run through tactics, like actual real world tactics and stuff. So same shit y'all go through in Call of Duty, like the practice round, that shit exists. We just gotta set it up and have the mind to be able to run, to train our people, because we have no other choice now. White people letting us know. We got no other choice. Like we just can't run. You just can't go out late at night, especially in a place like the South, and not have it on you, not being able to fight if you need to.
Yeah, so, it's time to get out of the fantasy world. You got to know it's like really time for self-defense.
Like, don't get me wrong.
Like, let's Sammy go real quick and then we're going to go back.
The reason I wanted to cut you off quick is because I looked at the comments, and even in this small ass group, you can see that people's mentality isn't even in a space to receive this kind of information. Like warfare, people are like, oh, you're trying to get a skill. So that's why it's important for us to show through our example and actually things.
Right.
Like, we can
That's
change.
Yeah.
Right here, we can change.
Absolutely.
And we can have that confidence so that when people have a conversation, we can confront them and like shut it down with truth.
Yeah,
So
right.
that they can work. But right, because I'm looking, they're like, oh shit, nah, they're gonna kill us, they're gonna bomb us, blah blah. So what's the point of us even talking about this with these people if they're not even in a place to receive it? See
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
absolutely. I 100% agree. That's why, like for me, like this is a piece to it, of course. But you know what I'm saying. I think it's important also to share the resources on that, like we said we're going to do. But like I said, the tangible and actionable things moving forward. You know what I'm saying. I think it starts with just small groups and pockets of people coming together. So if it's what I'm saying, the people here, you know what I mean. We got to start. All right, let's start talking resources. You know what I'm saying. What do we have? What are our connections for the things that we need? You get what I'm saying? That's why when you break it down to education, economics, you got to organize it and put it in a way that we can start to actually make this thing look like something real. You get what I'm saying? Like we want to take it out of the dream space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And bring
yeah,
it
nah.
bring it into reality a little bit.
And I kind of no, I was gonna say I kind of do also think it's important sometimes for the people to express how they feel, especially like people in the chat and stuff like that. Especially because like at the end of the day, it's like not everyone's gonna be willing to like be in the front lines and take training. Like you get what I'm saying? A lot of people are still in their own world. So at the end of the day, like just like you said, Sammy, just like Anthony said, just like Trey said, just like Ahmaud said, just like Fred said, just like Palm said, like if we could take it to the forefront and like even saying something like when I was like important people earlier, I didn't necessarily mean important people. I meant probably more the people that are more about it than everybody else. Right. Because we do need everybody to be kind of on the same accord, but we need some people to really push the shit so that people understand.
Everybody plays their role. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like even if you don't receive certain pieces, like you said, you meet people where they are. You get what I'm saying? So we spoke about coming into your own and really learning yourself and your history. If that's where you start, and that's where you start, you get what I'm saying, and that's completely fine, and there's nothing wrong with that because we all are in different places of growth at this point. You get what I'm saying? So our next steps at this point is I think we start to share our resources, and if that got to be books, and we come together and start, you know what I'm saying, a study group and a club that we start to actually learn our history, we can share, you know what I'm saying, different stories and different books to read and actually get the reasons for why this is actually necessary. I think that's the most imperative.
Go ahead, Ahmaud.
And but something that's maybe not so even on an extreme level, like it's little things that you could do. You know what I'm saying? Like being a good father. You know what I'm saying? Being mother, like properly educating your children. You know what I'm saying? Like because it starts at home. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, I look at it like this, like. It also starts with the person that's in the mirror, and the choices that we decide to make. You know what I'm saying? And I know like fear and a lot of other things is a motherfucker for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, look, it's real out here. You know what I'm saying? And like, but there's little things that you could do as far as like, I always like because like you said earlier about the spiritual aspect of it, the type of energy that you put out there. You know what I'm saying? So like little things like I said if you could do something for some of these young black boys that's in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Like them just we don't know how much they look up to us, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like
that's a fact.
You know what I mean? I think we sometimes forget about stuff like that, and I think we forget about things that we can do on a mental level, on a spiritual level, and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%, bro. Because even speaking to that point, it was like all right, so I'm doing this job, I'm working in social media, but I want to do work for my community. But when I finish work, I'm tired and I need time for myself and I got to do this and that. But I'm saying I'm a person of my people. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying everybody should do this, but literally it was like, all right, I got to make a career switch. You know what I'm saying? I got to do something that actually means something. And what I mean by playing your role is like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the biggest and most powerful voice out here. I don't have the most resources, but what I do have is myself. This is who I am and this is what I am. And I know the type of experience I had to go into school and teach, you know what I'm saying, and teach these kids and show them how to be men. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy because I'll have conversations with them and they'll be like, yo, da da da. I heard you make music. You do this. You know, I'll be like, yeah, I know them. I did a show with that person. They'll be like, yo, so what are you doing here? I'm like, you see this conversation we having? this is why I'm here. You get what I'm saying? And
Facts.
this is what makes the most sense. You get what I'm saying? So what I mean by like playing roles, we all have to be at this point. What's the most actionable is to be the most you can be as an asset to your
Exactly.
community. You get what I'm saying?
That's a fact.
And that starts
Yeah.
again with learning your history and then learning yourself, because you have to know, all right, what's needed, but how do I play a part in this? Where
Right.
am I the most effective?
I
Yeah.
feel like if you're gonna like speak out for people, speak out for everybody in your community. If you're gonna protect people, protect everybody in your community. It's like it's really just about like the as much as we care about black people, like we have to include everybody that's black. Like even the people we might hate, like we have to literally like still kind of keep them around, because at the end of the day, they could flip at some point and they could be somebody that can help.
That's
But like
So
you don't have to drag them. You don't have to drag them. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, Ahmaud, I agree.
You gotta
You
keep
don't
that at
drag
arm's
them.
length.
Don't drag them. It's one of those things that when you start walking, if they don't walk with you, fuck it.
Yeah.
And once you like a mile down, if they start sprinting, all right, you got to catch up.
Yeah,
you
no,
get what I'm
shit,
saying?
because I remember, boy, so many people that like, you know what I'm saying? Like I would have so many debates about black shit, and then it's like years down the line, it's like as they learn and I continue learning, it's like we start to meet in the middle. You get what I'm saying? We start to meet in the middle at some point. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Even if you button heads or whatever the case may be, you don't have to do it in hate. You could do it in love. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
especially with our
That's
people.
what I'm saying,
you get what
man.
I'm saying? It's
With
like,
our
yo,
people.
Yes.
Look, we're not gonna see eye to eye, but you stay over there and I'm gonna go over here. You get what I'm saying? And that's fine. We don't have to body each other. We don't have to get in no fight, no nothing. But you got to stick with your tribe and stick with your like-minded.
But also
people.
that
You know what I
way,
mean?
that's what avoids a lot of bullshit.
Right.
Because guess what, right? If me and this nigga's beefing, but then the cops try to whoop his ass, I'ma still jump in because
Right.
you part of my community still. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I feel like niggas capitalism, and we always talk about capitalism failing us, but I feel like capitalism made it where niggas is like, damn, that's gonna fuck my money up. So like,
Right.
you know, I'm not gonna fuck with my community like that.
Mhm.
So it's like we gotta really stand up for everybody. Like no
And-
matter what, even if your job is at risk, career is at risk. You get what I'm saying? Like the community is way more important, especially if we pump it into our own economy. How they gonna take our jobs away if we making our own jobs for ourselves?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So we just gotta. I know that's easier said than done, but we just gotta keep having these conversations, keep coming together and figuring shit ways out.
Yeah.
And I just think one important thing is we definitely gotta have good communication, like between black men and black women. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
I believe that no talking at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna have to have like real discussions at
There's a
the
lot of
end of the
healing
day.
that
Like
needs to be
yo,
done.
and that's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, like yo, like you all I got, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm all you got in that aspect. Like we got each other. You know what I'm saying? We in this together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like constantly fighting about, you know, black men who this, black women. Like, listen, like, look, like, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna have to get shit right. You know what I'm saying? Because if we don't get shit right, like I said, we're not gonna be able to last. You know what I'm saying?
At all.
Right.
And
I would.
it's I'm just saying, like
Yeah.
it's important because of our children. You know what I'm saying? And the future generations, we got to set that foundation now. And all this the things that happened in slavery and further down, you know, with crack and all the rest of that kind of shit like this, whatever. We got to take control of our households again. You know what I'm saying? We got to take 100% control of our households. Like we have to be in our households, building and properly just have the right energy out there and the right, you know, just that it starts with communication again, man. Like and you know, we gotta get that part together. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Let me add to that also is we also have to find unity within the diaspora. Period.
Right.
So
Facts.
whether you're quote unquote Black American or you Trinidadian or Jamaican or you Nigerian or whatever, we got to start building these bridges in different parts of the diaspora because this fight in every aspect of the way, spiritual, physical, mentally, this fight is a global fight. Because even our brothers and sisters overseas, they're going through the same exact
same shit.
Yeah.
And it's harder for them because their skin is black.
Right. And they literally, just like we got it, they getting help from from Europe, from China, from they get catching help. anywhere. So we got to start creating those lines of communication and positive communication where we become allies hand in hand. Like there should be, we got to start building that, not just in the motherland, places like Cuba, places like in Puerto Rico. We got to start creating those lines of communication to further empower our people, because this what's going on in the U.S. is only a micro, it's only a small minutia of the
Of what's
bigger
really
struggle.
happening. Yeah, that's a fact.
Absolutely.
And even to build on that, like I feel like even with like the LGBTQ community, like we also have to like figure out a way to like, because again, we're all black, diaspora, like sexual orientation, like wherever you was born, like at the end of the day, we all go through our struggles, and then there's extra things that are added because of how you're classified, and we have to figure out like ways to like really support each other and like have those open means of communication where it's not just always like an attack, or I'm trying to attack you, get you back for something that you said.
Absolutely.
So we do have to find out ways to probably like communicate how we feel about shit clearly.
Definitely.
That's where ego comes in, because like we can't communicate with each other if people have their defenses up. And that's usually trying to protect their own perspective on things, because their ego is there. So like that's why, all right, one thing that I do in my own little space is whenever I can, I buy black, because that already connects me to
Facts.
and I speak to black people about black things. Like if it comes up, I'm having the conversation, I'm not going to shy away from it. If I'm meeting opposition, I'm going to listen to you, but I'm also going to speak my truth. And all of that came with me doing like the mental work and the spiritual work. And so I feel like we need to have more conversations that encourage that amongst ourselves.
Yes, definitely.
We need to realize that we're not enemies. We're on the same team because we're black. And because of that, we have to make sure we get our spirit right, so that no one needs to be convinced like we're already here. We're on the same.
Nah, that's a fact.
Definitely.
So we have to lead by example, bro.
Definitely. I think, you know what I'm saying, the most unifying point is simply like our skin color is a death sentence. Is that simple? Like our skin color is a death sentence for you know what I'm saying, the wrong situation. So it's like, you know what I mean, they not stopping and hey, you gay or Caribbean or African. No,
they're not asking none of that extra shit.
None of that shit, bro.
You're like, you're black, going in the ground.
A, B, and C, you black, Trinidadian, Jamaican, or you mixed. Nah, that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying?
That's not how it works, bro.
Like,
you're
our
not saying I know
factor is the most, you know what I'm saying, defining, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Any final points? Anybody in the chat got questions before we get out of here?
Yes. 2 things.
What's up?
Does everyone in here know how to shoot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I know how to shoot. I'm qualified with every machine gun, ranging from the 240 to the 50 cal to the Mark 19.
And we got to set up the defense training team.
Because we also need the women.
That's a fact.
The women definitely need to start applying for firearms.
Fact.
I cannot stress this high enough. We got nasty niggas in the community.
In the community, a fact.
Yes. You gotta get them the fuck up out of here.
Finish her thought.
Yeah, let's say him. Guys, Amy.
Oh, well, I was just saying more gun range dates, just like making that a normal thing that people are going here for fun.
Yeah.
It also conditions your mind.
You're right.
And what you're saying about like women strapping up, whatever. Like for me personally, I carry a knife. You know what I'm saying? I have a machete. Like shit like that. So I always feel like I'm straight.
Yeah.
So that kind of conversation amongst our women too is important, because when we feel secure within ourselves, then we're more willing to step out of the comfort zone.
Right. Because like, the one thing that's been popping up is, women getting assaulted at these parties. And I feel like if women start carrying it don't matter what it is, a knife, little pistol, mace, whatever it is. The fact is, I personally think that now, due to these parties and due to, just a lot of interaction with men, I feel like a lot of our women need to start carrying some sort of protection, because it's getting wicked out here, and I get sick of hearing like our women getting kidnapped and not putting up a fight, or they go to these little get-togethers and you got some guy who's drunk you know, he feeling up on you, tell him stop. It's like we gotta start.
Also,
no, go ahead. Well, Colton, you was going?
no, I was gonna say also like tired of niggas like pretending like shit's not going down. Like this is your community, my nigga. Like if a woman
I was about to get on
is
that
in
point
the
too.
if a woman is in the fucking vicinity and she seems like she's uncomfortable and you think she feels like she's uncomfortable, don't go like that's not my fucking business. Right. Oh, I don't know if she's uncomfortable or not. Right. All those excuses is why all these things happen and why we keep hearing it over and over and why everybody keeps pretending like they're fucking surprised and why niggas are called villains when they punch people in the fucking face for doing shit like that is because like agendas get flipped in this clout-based world and niggas don't really care about protecting the community because they care about attention. Like, so we have to really take ourselves accountable and realize what is really important to us, keeping our women and our community safe or having a hot party.
That ass, because shit, in my belief, I believe like if we believe that we are, you know what I'm saying, a strong and powerful race, then as men, you know what I'm saying, we are the protectors of that. You get what I'm saying? So the fact that our women need to carry weapons and carry knives, that means we're not doing our best job at protecting our women in our community in the best way. You get what I'm saying? So I think that part also to what you're saying, the ladies definitely need to have their hands on some things. I just wanted to build upon that and add on
that's a
that
fact.
as well, not refute what you're saying because I agree.
I agree though, 100%.
Yeah, no, we definitely.
Outside of just weapons though, and this is not even me being funny, but it's also kind of funny. Like everybody thinks they can fight. People need to actually like take some self-defense courses. Like I'm not talking about just women. I'm literally talking about men too. Like I've seen a lot of dudes like. You know, like everybody thinks because you grew up in certain areas, you got hands this and third. But when you actually fight somebody like legitimately,
that trains.
When
you fight niggas that train,
actual trainer, right? Like you swearing up, nah, you're not gonna win an actual fight. And like you said, Anthony, like when you have certain things happening, like women getting kidnapped, it's when you have actual training, right? A woman, it doesn't necessarily matter your size. These niggas don't be having no motherfucking training.
Yeah. Nah, that's real shit. I don't know how many times niggas done got bad, started a fight with me, and I'm like, dude, you couldn't even fight. What you doing? But
they swing wild, all sorts of wild shit. So yeah, that self-defense part, even train, like even armed, unarmed, self-defense is gonna be a big thing. If that means you gotta ask your brother, yo, if he box, yo, can you show me some things? If you got the funds, you know.
I used to box, so I you know what I mean. I got you.
Go to a boxing gym. Go to, you know what I'm saying. We gotta start being just with ourselves, with our loved ones, with our community. We gotta be proactive about a lot of things, especially now.
Yes.
You know, yeah, we gotta be very proactive because, like I said, what happened with the gentleman, you know, I wish he had it on him, and I wish there was a way like he could have, you know, defended himself or had somebody to help him defend himself. And the other thing too is when we're going out, we gotta start traveling in groups.
Right.
Yeah.
We just can't be on no dolo shit. Yeah, we just can't be on no dolo shit. Yo, I'm gonna see you at the party. Nah, if everybody going as a group, go as a group now. Because right now, especially us that live.
Yeah, that sound be hating on you when you make
hating on him with the good points. He be having a good
point. Right in the middle of his good point, and be like, "Nah, fuck out of here."
Go ahead.
Nah, but it's like we gotta start traveling in packs because it's getting wicked out here, and especially with and if you got kids, you got especially the teenagers. Becoming target.
Like the teenagers.
We in the community, we got to be extra vigilant when we see our teens interacting in the community, because a lot of times these cops gonna test our teens. And you know what I'm saying? And we as the adults, we gotta be watchful
at all time.
And I think that's a really important fact. I think a lot of the time, like, we forget that we're the elders now. You get what I'm saying? We're the adults now.
Yes.
So we be saying somebody got to do something about this. We are the people that got to do
something. We can do it. Like, we can dead ass do it.
You get what I'm saying? So you know what I mean. So I think
we gotta protect the kids, man. We gotta protect our community. That's it.
I think, like I said, moving forward, we're gonna wrap this convo up. But moving forward, I think you know, the black people that's in the chat, that's in this conversation, I think we take this outside of, you know, internet conversations. We take this off here, start to talk more actionable planning. For those that's interested, and actually start actually putting our minds together. I know Ahmaud, Anthony, Colton, Fred, we all spoke about it in some way, in some length. I think Sammy, we haven't really touched base on this as of yet, but we definitely can. But you know what I'm saying? We just actually haven't organized and come together to start actually doing some things. So I think, you know what I'm saying, if we're gonna have this conversation, I think it's on us to actually start taking these steps forward. How that sound?
Thanks.
All right. Y'all drop y'all Twitters, y'all information. We'll start with Anthony. Anthony, drop your information for him.
All right. So places where you can find me. If you want to hear me talk about everything in life, you can find me on Twitter at Brooklyn's Son. That's again at Twitter at Brooklyn's Son. Now, if you want to see my work, you want to hear my bullshit social political talk, you go check me out on Instagram at Anthony B. Gathers, where I take my work and I mix it in with social commentary. So you ain't escaping from either or. But
nice.
yeah, so you can catch me on Instagram at Anthony B. Gathers. If you want to just stick with the photos, if you want to just stick with the political talk and everything that happens in life, as well as, like, you know, wrestling shit, check me out at Twitter at Brooklyn's Son.
Absolutely. Ahmaud.
You can find me at Twitter, Madi NYC, MAADY NYC. You can find also, we got the Represent page. You can find Represent Twitter at twitter.com, represent REP, no, I spell represent underscore NYC underscore, you know what I'm saying? I just want to say, just at the end of the day, like you know, it's a process, you know what I'm saying? And nothing's gonna happen overnight, you know what I'm saying? Like I know fear is like I said, fear is a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? And I know it might sound like you know, rough, but you know, it's gotta get done, you know what I'm saying? But if you got faith in yourself and you got faith that in your people, you know what I mean, that everything will be all right, you know what I mean? Like it's not going, it's literally not, there's no such thing as instant gratification. I think we just got caught up in that as a society, you know what I'm saying? But it you know, you got to start somewhere, you know what I mean? If we plant the seed, you know, it can happen, you know what I mean? So that's pretty much what I'm, and don't let these niggas who never went outside control the narrative, because there's too much bozos out here who never went outside, writing think pieces and shit about, you know what I mean, about shit. Now you got to start curbing these niggas, you know what I'm saying? Because these niggas is weirdos and these niggas don't know nothing about shit, you know what I'm saying? So that's just my
Sammy.
Yeah.
Is that Sammy? Me?
Yeah.
Oh, Sammy the God on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I wanted to say real quick, learn how to play chess. Also, if anyone needs like a synopsis of what to take away, learn how to defend or protect yourself on every level, mental, physical, spiritual. And whatever that looks like for you, figure that out. But that's the main takeaway I want to share with y'all.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fred.
I mean, you already know Haters Ball is the main handle for us. You don't need to even follow me on other bullshit. I'm tired of people following me. Some niggas is annoying to me.
All right. My Twitter is _ the Colton Show. My Instagram is just the Colton Show, and so is my YouTube. And I got Twitch now. All of that is the Colton Show. I guess my last thing that I would just say is just that, like, we have to be more inclusive. If we're gonna talk about black people, like, we gotta talk about all people, all different types of people. It don't matter. Like, we all black. We gotta, like, all figure out a way to speak to each other, and then if we can't, then we don't gotta speak to each other.
Definitely. And y'all know me, man. Wordsmith, Trey, whatever you call me, it don't matter. Wordsmith. That's 2 F's at the end, not the TH. So other guys is frauds. Yeah, man. I think my takeaway from this is start with yourself, man. And if it's learning yourself or learning your history, whatever the case may be, start wherever you gotta start. If it's learning your history, I can help with that part. I got my whole full e-library if you need some books on whatever. I almost got everything. If I don't have it, I could probably find it for you. So whatever resources you need in that aspect, I got you. I'll do whatever it takes to get you whatever you need. So use me as that resource. Use me up. I don't care if I gotta find a book, because that's very important.
I'm gonna start hitting you up because I'm in a book club now with some ladies, and we can use some of those.
Yeah.
I won't be down. Hit me up too.
I do too.
Oh yeah.
Anybody
that wants to continue the conversation with us, send a DM directly to the Haters Ball Show. We'll compile everybody's contacts, and then we'll put everybody together, and we'll start having conversations. Cool.
Thanks.
All right, everybody, y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. I appreciate y'all just last minute jumping in on this with me. It was
R.I.P. Ahmaud. R.I.P. Ahmaud.
Helped me out big time.
Rest peace.
R.I.P. Ahmaud. R.I.P. Sean Reed.
Facts.
R.I.P. Sean Reed, man.
Y'all have a good one, man. Be safe.
Love y'all.
Peace, y'all. Love y'all.
Yes, we love you. Say it to us.
Love y'all.
Love y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all.